I'm Dan Gustafson, Field Operations for Great Basin Team 3, and this is the 8:25 morning briefing. Last night, night shift, a lot of great work. Those guys ended up burning all night long. It was favorable conditions. It was fairly slow, and it was a small scale burn just below the actual fire. So what it did is it gave us a really nice black line buffer with very minimal head fire, almost no head fire. It just gave us a nice big black line. So that was from the drop point 361 area, following this road here toward drop point 36. Again, really successful operation. Left a nice package for day shift to pick up. Day shift in Division Delta is going to spend the day mopping up and securing that perimeter and ensuring it stays right where it's at. And then day shift in Delta is also going to start working on a newly approved piece of dozer line from the General 37 to drop point 46 area. Once we have that in place, we definitely have an opportunity to start trying to lock this portion of the fire up into the Yukonom 2017 burn. So yeah, we're pretty excited about that operation coming through, and the end result would be to protect everything right in this area to the west. Yep, we're planning for successful operations and this favorable weather until about the weekend, and we'd really like to see that locked up. Coming around the Division Juliet piece we've talked about, there's a contingency line up in there that's just about done. There is a little work in here that we've been authorized to continue some dozer line push, tying into a few roads right up from the Johnson Hunting Grounds to the end of the existing Forest Service road up there. We're doing some cleanup in there. It'll add an additional containment feature within the planning area, and if future time that needs to be used, then we have that. It'll be done and in place. Those folks are going to clean that up and finish up today in Juliet. Coming back all the way around the fire to where our next chunk of work is focused, and that's Division Tango. So again, for a reference point at the Division Tango break, there's a lot of fire line here that's been down the roads, down some of our improved roads, and down some dozer line. That is all being mopped, secured, and patrolled daily, and it's holding. We're also identifying options to keep up with this fire. So again, where you have fire here and we're using the road, there's small firing operations, but they will allow that to burn either back or come up the hill in understory litter, and then give us a nice black buffer for if and when the fire makes a big run at us. It's going to be a heck of a big black chunk, and we're working that with the same idea as we have up in Delta. We're working that down our road systems as needed and as favorable to try and lock this chunk of the fire up into the Hay Press 2017 burn. So today, that's what these guys are working on, is the road improvement, and if things line up and they're favorable, we might start some small firing actions in here to stay in front of the fire so it doesn't outflank us and come too hard before we get to finish. The other end state for today's operation with the Division Tango folks would be set the night shift up for a lot more improved road, and the night shift can continue that firing because that's when our most optimal firing has been, is in there. So I'd mentioned a couple days ago, structure group slightly reorganized. Structure group is still a group. All of these structures are still being maintained. Everything that we put in is still there, and these folks are working on that, but we can reprioritize some of that workforce to some closer or tighter perimeter control. There is another structure group, calling it the 96 corridor, and those folks right now, there's a lot of areas that are values at risk. What we're doing is we're prioritizing where the closest threat to those values at risk are, and currently we're working Dillon Creek Campground, Cottage Grove, Independence Bridge. That's where we're refocusing our priority areas at. That doesn't mean that we've given up on anything south of the fire or the Happy Camp area. They're just not immediately threatened. So the structure group is going there. We also have a second structure group, Elk Creek. So That's just getting going. Work started about noon yesterday, and each day I'm going to get more and more stuff as we clean things up. We'll have more and more resources to shift to Elk Creek and start structure protection there. And that's it for today's operational briefing.